Prepare to have your mind blown out of the back of your pants. From Studio City, California, you're listening to The Second Column with Joe, Mike, Carlos, and Sean.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Second Column. We are back at full force this week. I'm joined by Mike Constantini.
Well, yeehaw!
All right.
How's everybody doing?
Good, Mike. Joined by Carlos Jaime.
Gobble gobble.
No, it's not Thanksgiving.
What?
It's not
Oh,
Thanksgiving
okay.
anymore. And joined by our prodigal son, Sean Kearney.
Terrific.
Well, we got all the holidays in there. Very
Wait,
nice. Except for the one that's coming right up.
What was Mike's holiday, though, with the howdy?
I don't know. Cowboy Day.
I'd like that day.
I
That's
just
like Independence Day, I think.
I just happy to have Sean back.
Well, that's
So I
nice.
figured
Yeah.
he needed a nice Western hoedown.
No, I like that. I like Cowboy Day. That would be fun.
Like yeehaw, Sean is
Shoot
back.
things.
That's good.
hmm
Sean, where the hell were you?
Yeah, and why don't you
Okay.
tell us of your fair journeys out there in the big
Yes.
wide world?
Yeah. I kind of feel all right. No, the first week that I wasn't here, I was moving my girlfriend to New York.
And the
packing her up.
backstory there is she is repulsed by you
Yes.
and wanted to move to the
Mhm.
other side of the country.
Wow.
About
She wanted to move
that,
to the
yeah.
Something like that.
Something around there. And then actually the second week that I was there, I'm really sorry I couldn't make it. I took the last of all the money I had and I went down to Darfur and I was feeding little kids.
Wow.
They were starving. So
You're a good man, Sean.
sorry I couldn't be part of the podcast.
What a jackass.
It's kind of a dick move because
Yeah,
we really
really.
could have used you
Yeah,
on,
really.
on the one podcast. I mean, Jen Jones did a good job, but
Yeah.
Sean
She was
Kearney,
fun.
she
She
was
was cool.
not. So, well,
And those kids in Darfur, they didn't even give me like a card or anything when I left.
no, of course
You know,
not.
Like you guys are always so nice. You offer me drinks and stuff. I went
Yes.
into their houses or their thatched huts, I think they were, and they didn't offer me anything. They
I hope
didn't even
you've-
give me a place to sleep.
learned your lesson about helping people.
Yeah, I helped 3 people in my life, and that's Mike Cosentini, Joe Donatelli, and Sam Child.
And Samuel
what?
Child
Way.
of Pangea, the
You
great improv
son of
group.
a...
Yes.
How old are you?
Smart. Well, Sean, glad to have you back from Darfur.
It's great to be back.
That's a nice planet out here.
Yes. Carlos, you think it's a planet?
Yeah. It's like
Really?
a Star Wars planet.
No,
I
it's
think. Yeah. I thought it was
It's
Star Wars.
it's one system over from Tatooine.
Oh,
I think.
Tatooine?
Yeah,
Oh,
Tatooine.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
I myself prefer the I believe it's Yemen. Yemen is the
Yeah.
is that one of the
Or
moons?
Yemen.
No, not Yemen, but Yavin.
Yavin.
Yavin?
Yavin 4.
Yavin 4. Is that
Yeah,
where
yeah.
Cloud City is?
I think around there.
I don't know.
Might be. I'm not sure. I have to check my map.
It's
at home.
no Hoth system with
No,
its
it's
ice
not.
That's the
planets.
ice planet.
It's
It's
ice
Hoth.
planets.
It's not like the vacation spot Endor.
That's right.
Andor, yeah.
We were watching Star Wars with Kevin Ford today. He's one of the guys in the Great Adventure, very funny guy.
Which is an improv group.
Improv group, yes. And we were watching it, and I saw this big red planet, that was supposed to be, I guess, the moon before they were going to destroy Endor, was it? I think it was. Was it Endor?
It might have been. Yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
no,
let's
no,
just
no.
say-
It's I think Yavin is the planet that they blow up in the original Star Wars.
Oh, is
That's
it?
where Leia's from.
Okay.
That sounds
Well,
right.
no, but what about the one, like, this is where the rebels, are flying to save the planet at the very end of the movie.
Oh, that's Endor.
That's Endor, right?
Yeah.
So the moon, I told Kevin that it was Nortur,
You just made that up.
and he believed me.
So you outflanked
You son of a
Kevin.
bitch.
Well, won't he have egg on his face when he hears this podcast?
Oh, my
Boy,
God.
is he going to feel like a sap.
Oh,
Well, I guess it's not that big of a deal. 'Cause
What a
No, it's
maroon.
not.
what a
What a
jackass.
jerk.
I told him.
Fucking
I told him
wow.
afterward that I made it up, and he laughed.
Well, it's because
Wow.
he's a good sport. He's a
I'm
good-
happy we got closure to that story.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Mike. Thanks. I would have hate to leave anybody hanging on
Did
that
you
one.
ever fool anybody of else or something like that, or
Well,
with your tales, tall tales?
There's the famous bird
Oh,
house building
I believe
story.
we discussed that in one of
Yes.
the previous podcasts.
Still funny though.
And I did fool some people. So
Yes. because Mike is a pretty honest guy, so when he does lie, it's rare, and you can usually tell Mike's lying because his eyebrows go up and down like Groucho Marx. It's true. So if Mike's ever talking to you,
the
and he's
look
giving you
he's
some
giving you.
information, like, and his eyebrows go up and down rapidly.
Speaking of honesty, speaking of honesty and eyebrows,
Oh.
Joe and I had a little bit of a disagreement last night.
Oh.
Sean, I would like to hear what you think about this.
I agree with Joe.
Do you
The end.
Nice, well put. Thank you.
do you tip your mailman?
Not a fucking way.
All right, but have you heard of the custom of tipping your mailman?
No.
Nobody's heard
Wow.
of it. I'm incredible. Okay,
I've heard of it. I've never done it, but I've heard of
Now,
it.
You're supposed to tip your mailman.
for you listeners, the mailman keeps kind of messing up our mail service. So Joe said the reason is because we don't tip.
That's right. This house, I don't think, has ever tipped the mailman.
How do you tip him? Like, do you leave
you
it
put
in the mailbox?
You put like a $20 bill in a Christmas card, and you say thank you for the service throughout the year. Happy holidays, and then so if you live in a house, that's what you should do.
Right.
Do
But
you
it
hand
is-
it to him, or do you leave it in your
No,
mailbox?
you can just leave it in the mailbox. You can hand it to them if you want, but you can just leave it in the mailbox. They'll know what it is because they do receive. They'll know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
No, for you listeners out there, I think you should all write in your opinion of this. Should we actually have to tip our mailman to get proper mail service when it's their job?
Right. And here was my argument, and I don't know. Feel me out on this. You know, Mike, I've seen you in a restaurant easily tip a waitress, $10 or whatever for bringing you your meal.
Sure.
Now, that person is bringing you a piece of, I don't know, is bringing you a hamburger and some fries and some dessert, whatever, and that's good, and you should tip those people. But the person who brings you your paycheck, who brings you your tax forms, like
Sure.
that's a little more important. And they do that every day, and they do that without thanks or recognition. So, in my book, if you're going to tip somebody, tip your mail person because they are more important to the economy and well-being of your life than any waitresses.
Whoa.
So if you're already tipping for your waitress, you might as well tip for the person who makes sure that, you get all of your legal forms and you get paid.
But by that logic, I would want to tip my doctor too, because
See, that's-
he's even more important than my mailman.
You could, but here's the difference.
That's part of the argument
Here's
I brought
here's
up
the
last
difference,
night.
though. Your doctor is, in a sense, a professional who makes a lot of money, whereas a postal service person is kind of like, sort of like when you give your teacher a gift at Christmas. The postal service person it's a thankless job that you don't get any recognition for, and it's nice to recognize somebody. Even if you just gave your person a card, it would probably be a big deal, just to recognize who's breathing heavy.
Me?
Yeah,
I think it's
Oh.
Carlos.
yeah.
I'm just.
It sounded like Darth Vader in
I'm
the background.
enthralled by this argument.
All right, I'm just saying, if you want to help somebody out,
Yeah,
it's
tip the
a
mailman.
thankless job.
Okay.
Even,
I think
Even
if you wrote a handwritten note saying, I appreciate the service and I thank you, it would go a long way rather than they're just another house that they're shoving mail into.
That's true. Now, here, by that logic, though, I agree with you. It's a nice sentiment, But I think if you start tipping the postman, then you're going to have to start tipping everybody.
No.
Because
Well, you can't
There,
tip
Mike,
cops.
Because then the garbage man's
there's
gonna be
no,
like-
there's no police for tipping. You get to choose who you want to tip.
Well,
you're not
technically-
forced to tip anybody.
Technically, I believe that my grandfather tried to tip a federal judge once. and
Right,
Wow.
that's
the police
illegal.
came down on him.
Okay,
for
there is
that.
a police for tipping.
That's a thankless job.
Sean, you are correct. There is a police for tipping when the person you're tipping is a politician or a
Okay.
judge.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Well, I thought a
I think
city
it's a really
councilman's
good.
a thankless
It's a really
job.
good point. It's a really good point.
So wait, how about if you tipped your mailman or mail person, whatever? Do they get rid of like junk mail and all that stuff?
No,
can
they-
they just do that? Because if they
Well, that's the other thing. Mike complains that he gets bad mail service, but as far as I can tell, the mail gets here every day. So he's always railing against his mailman. Now, personally, I just think he needs something to complain about because that is you like to complain about stuff, but. You're always like, the mailman doesn't, whatever. And it's like, well, what could they be doing better? Like, what more do you want from your mailman?
Right. Well, just, not having other people's mail delivered to my house.
But that happens sometimes.
That's true. I understand. But
It's a big world. They're finding your house out of all of them in the world.
Yeah, that's
you,
pretty
you
impressive.
complained about it last night, actually.
Well, because one day this week they just slammed it through and it went scattering into the garage. I had to gather up the mail. So that's when I thought, oh, Mike, do you what do you do to your mailman? And it was like,
I think the postman listens to this podcast.
I think so,
and he's
too.
probably heard me
Yep.
go off and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get shit
Right. If they just put
in the mail.
It's like
poop.
that-
I would.
It's like that damn son of a bitch who wears that USC sweater.
Exactly. Get him. The one whose mailbox smells of gin all the time. Yeah, they know who you are. So anyway, I say personally, we'll move on. But I say tip your mail person. It's a nice thing to do.
Can you tip a banker?
No, they already have your money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would be a bad idea.
Well, they don't really.
You could
have
ask
money.
them to keep some of it if you
Oh,
want.
okay.
You know, but no, you don't have to tip everybody. I'm just saying it's a good idea if you if there's somebody who is in your life every day bringing you important stuff.
Sure.
It might be a good idea to develop a good relationship with them. That's all I'm saying. So
Fair enough.
I don't, I don't like compulsory anything, but that seems like a not bad idea.
My mom says that I'm the best tip the mailman ever got.
Wow.
Whoa, yeah.
That's cool.
So every day when the mailman comes, it's like a family reunion.
Pretty much,
Sort
yeah.
of, yeah.
It's great.
Do you say hi, Dad, when he comes? It's a
It depends.
yeah.
You know, who's
What's
around.
that like? Is that weird? Is
Yeah.
it strange?
It's a little bit strange. I mean, it's very uncomfortable when he brings me, letters from my dad,
Fake dad.
from my
Fake
fake dad,
Fake dad, yeah.
because they always have things carved into them. You can tell they've been steamed, so he can read
them, yeah.
It's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's
but,
unsettling.
but it's cool to know that I share a situation with a Delta Blues song, or something like that.
Yes, you do.
Delta Blue.
Delta Blues songs always are about women having affairs with mailmen and stuff
like the
that.
milkman, I think, right?
Maybe I think it's the milkman. You're right.
Yeah.
Like the milkman.
Okay.
Well, now, and your father, the postman, his father was actually the milkman.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really
Isn't that-
strange.
it's a strange.
Yeah.
So
and his grandfather was a blacksmith, wasn't it?
he was a
Or the
roving smithy.
Oh, Smithy.
Who was so Sean's great grandfather would
Wow.
drive around on a cart and
Wow.
and fix various metal objects.
Yeah.
So I think I'm destined to work for the Best Buy Geek Squad.
Yes.
Because that's the last thing that I think really goes door to door.
Or pizza delivery.
Or pizza
Yeah.
delivery.
Mm.
Yeah.
But Sean's a tech guy, so I could see him in
Yeah,
the Geek
I
Squad.
would be in the Geek Squad.
And he'll be someday there'll be a little tip of his that'll
Wow.
Yeah.
passed on to a generation.
What would be next? I don't even know.
He'll be a robot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
All
that'd
future
be
babies
cool.
are robots.
Yep.
I
Robot
could
baby.
see that.
Yeah. That's it. Sean, thank you for that fascinating glimpse into your family life.
Yes.
It's good to have you back, Sean.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, my God.
It's good to have Sean back. We just you're going to hear this a week after Thanksgiving, give or take. But we all just celebrated Thanksgiving around here. And Carlos, I know you had a fun Thanksgiving. You finally got to meet your sister's boyfriend. right?
Boyfriend, yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
big
that
deal
was-
in the Hyman
Yeah.
family.
Big
deal.
deal.
Carlos,
That was all
and you were
That
not
was
happy.
good.
You were
No,
not
what?
happy. You were not happy that he was
I'm
taller
gonna-
than you.
No, I wasn't.
You were very disappointed.
I was. Carlos,
Carlos, how tall are you?
I'm about 6'2".
Yeah, and you were a little stunned that he was taller than you.
Yes.
And it
Mountain of a
threw,
man.
it threw you off because you were expecting to go in there and dominate him.
Yes, I was.
Because that's the
I was
only
gonna
thing you've
tackle
got
him.
on somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is your height. That's your edge. When Carlos is in a business meeting, he's thinking, you know what?
Yeah, it's
I
not.
am 4 inches taller than this guy.
It's not smarts.
Nope,
it's not
no.
good looks.
Nope.
It's,
It's
it
height.
is the height.
You have height-based confidence.
I do.
Yeah,
I noticed.
You may be wearing a Hawaiian shirt and khaki shorts and
Yes.
talk with a lisp, but damn it, you're
I
tall.
know. I am tall.
Height. So there was a good Thanksgiving dinner with the
It was
boyfriend?
good. It was actually fun. Actually, it
That's
was just
good.
talking.
He didn't, in the middle of everything, say anything ridiculous.
No.
I would look forward to converting your daughter to Scientology. And then
No.
Grandma chokes on a chicken bone and Grandpa throws a bowl at him. Or
Well, my grandparents are dead.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, in spirit.
Happy
In
Thanksgiving.
spirit, some spirit.
All right. Well, I know your parents are alive, so maybe your father stabs a carving knife into his
No.
hand or nothing like that.
No, it was cool.
Was there any drama
No.
at all, or was it just
no drama at all.
That's great.
good.
It was actually a lot better. It was one of those moments where you're like, oh, this is gonna be awkward, but then later on, once you're in it, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
Well, your family's pretty easygoing, so I
well,
see it.
yeah, in a way, in certain ways they are, but
So you Argentinian family? Were there 7 different beef products served for
no,
Thanksgiving? Or traditional
well,
turkey?
actually, the stuffing had beef in it.
Did it really?
Yeah,
That's
so,
beef stuffing.
and it was very good.
Yeah, that's good.
Scrumptious.
That sounds delicious.
Yes, it was very good.
Oh, very solid.
But we did have gravy and cranberry and
Gravy.
mashed potatoes,
That's good.
cornbread.
Mm.
That's good. That's solid.
Don't you think we should just have Thanksgiving every weekend up until Christmas.
I don't
not
think
too
any
much.
mom or aunt in the world.
Yeah,
would.
that's
No.
That's hell on earth.
Oh, it's just such a great holiday.
Yeah, that's true. Mike, how's your foot?
Igor.
It's okay. It's feeling better. Like
Igor.
Igor. Sorry.
yesterday I was outside and it was raining out here in Los Angeles, and everything was kind of wet.
Really?
And I was kind of hopscopping about because I was kind of happy, and I slipped on this stair, and
Stair. What stair?
it was just outside. It was one of the steps, and I just slipped, and my foot. Luckily, I didn't hurt
You
my
rolled
ankle,
your-
but
rolled your
I rolled
foot.
my foot. Yeah, and it hurt really bad last night.
So last night, Mike and Carlos get in, and Mike's walking down the hallway, and he's dragging one foot, and Mike walked with his shoulders up, and for some reason he tilts one higher than the other. So Mike's walking down with his shoulders tilted up, like almost to his ears, dragging a
With the limp.
with a limp. It was, like I could hear chains rattling in the back.
I turned around and I thought it was in the Christmas story or something.
It was Mike was the ghost of Christmas Past.
It wasn't one of my finest hours.
No, it wasn't, but it was hilarious.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
I wish I filmed it.
And then Mike had for some reason he bought a cauldron with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know
that's
why.
right. I don't know.
Well, I got it half off.
Right. So now that he has a damaged foot, he just figures I'm going to go
go.
wholesale into the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Just way into it.
I need some curds and some hair
Yes.
to make my magical potion.
Yes. You need to make your magical potion.
That will make me age backwards.
Well, you were boiling something for like 2 hours yesterday.
You did.
No, I made it.
That's true. Yeah, it's true that Mike
I made
came
an
in.
artichoke.
Yeah, but the thing was, you dragged your limp foot to the stove, put water on a pot, and just boiled stuff.
I just see smoke.
If somebody would have been watching this whole thing with the sound off, they would have thought there is Igor living.
It's like
living in here.
Nosferatu was out and about. It's
yeah.
a silent movie or something, like Quasimodo.
Now all you need is an unattainable woman to try to attract. Yeah, Quasimodo. Yeah, exactly.
It was.
So, yeah,
Well, why not just make me out to be the Phantom of the Opera?
you pretty much.
That was
Yeah.
about, that's true.
Actually, I kind of was Phantom of the Opera because I had this infection on my eyelid a couple weeks back. It's
Yeah.
really been a bad run of things, actually. I had this kind of infection on my...
It looked like a second head.
yeah, it was starting to grow, and like
Yeah.
I felt like I had to go with a mask, like covering half of my face.
Yeah, Mike had this
That would've been
huge like bump beneath his eye,
Mm-hmm.
like kind of like a witch would have.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so the day I was actually meeting my girlfriend's mom, who was in town, the pain was just getting bad, so I went into the doctor that morning, and I ended up going through like minor surgery.
Yeah,
You know,
that's right.
and then meeting her mom with like my eye just bulged out. It was,
Yeah.
interesting first meeting.
It was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of thing. It was really weird. He was like transforming in front of us.
I was actually there when Mike was talking to the
What?
the mom. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, really?
What did they say?
I'd like to take your daughter up to my castle sometime.
That's very creepy, Mike.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exactly how I remember it, actually.
It
What the hell were you thinking?
Especially the laugh.
Yeah.
What are your intentions with my daughter? Yeah.
I'd like to harvest her organs for my organ farm.
I'm sure the eye didn't even bother her.
No,
that's
that-
probably what you said.
Well, that's the idea. You direct attention away from the eye.
Yep.
Is that what the deal is in the garden back there?
Yeah, Mike has a little garden.
It's
But
not a little garden.
I-
It's a pretty nice, hefty one.
with organs and
Yeah, I don't know what he's planning back there, but
It's carrots. And
every
beets.
day in our neighborhood, there's a new missing dog or missing
Oh,
cat
boy.
sign on a tree. So
Mike's
he's
like
got
a-
some great. Yeah, he's got,
I haven't seen your cat.
oh Jesus!
that the conversation happens a lot.
Wow.
Where
That
was this?
pretty
Where was this
creepy.
during the Halloween podcast? That's what I would like to know.
Well, where
What,
was your eye?
Yeah, where was your
Yeah.
odd? Where was your failing body during that?
Yeah. If you would have turned into a freak in September, we would have had some material.
Yeah, exactly. Your body failed us.
I can see Mike in the Little Shop of Horrors. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with the big plant. You know,
Yeah.
eating everything. He's got to feed it.
Yeah. Feed me. Yes, that's very true. Oh man,
You're making me out to be a monster.
Well, you kind of are.
You
I'm
started
not
it.
Huh? I didn't start it. I just said I hurt my foot.
Your
Then
body
you talked
started
about
it.
your eye.
Your body started it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I feel like one of your like your family members at the Thanksgiving dinner table, like, talking about all my ailments.
All your ailments. Well,
Yeah.
you are a veritable orchestra of malady. If anybody who knows Mike, there is always something going on there.
Yeah.
With you. So I'm not, and it's not hypochondria. Most of it's legitimate, but there's just always some kind of.
But it's like minor, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean? It's like I don't know, something
It's like a nuisance.
You're like a lemon. You're like the car that
Yeah,
you buy, and it's just,
right.
I wish I could take it back. I think I got a lemon.
You're stuck with it.
My
Yeah.
asthma doctor said that I'm actually a Ferrari, and you need to take really good care of it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now, has your asthma doctor ever gotten mad at your bronchial doctor?
That's the same doctor,
Oh.
the pulmonologist.
I think it would be funny if your doctor started squabbling with each other over like rights to your body and who was correct and whatever. Like there was a major mic fight in the hospital.
I could see a mic fight.
So could I.
I do see a couple doctors though, and like for my asthma and all that, and it is amazing to me like the differing opinions of doctors.
Yeah.
Like what one says to do, the other's like, no, don't do that.
Right.
And it's like, who do you believe?
Yeah. Trust your. Well, they say you're your own best doctor.
trust your gut.
Yeah.
For all the senior citizens out there that listen to this podcast, I feel for you.
Ooh.
They're probably listening to a bunch of different doctors, and like they're all giving them like sideways advice.
Right. Well, I know senior citizens, and what they do is they listen to what they want to hear. So
Yeah, so they're not listening to this.
they're not listening to this.
They want to hear Charlie Rose's podcast.
Yeah, unless we just played the opening theme for 45 minutes, which is nice and happy
Right.
and slow. They
No, I
probably,
like
they probably
that.
tuned out as soon as we started talking. So yeah, I'm trying to think what's going on with me. Oh, I joined Facebook this week.
You
Oh,
really?
Are you on
boy.
there?
No.
So nobody else here is on Facebook.
I am.
Carlos
That's
is.
kind of
Oh,
like that's kind
Carlos.
of really you joined Facebook because that's
Yeah.
kind of the younger generation, college generation.
It's,
So it's like
so weird. A friend of mine she said it's actually MySpace for adults.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, but I thought of
started
it
as-
as college.
yeah, college.
It
Yeah.
only was college, and then they opened it up wide.
Oh.
And the guy who invented it
sold it, right?
he got
He's
it appraised for I think something like $5 billion.
Yeah, it's an
Isn't
incredible-
that great? That's more than YouTube. That's more
Yeah.
than YouTube.
Uh-huh.
YouTube was bought for $3 billion.
The kid who invented it's 23 right
23.
now.
He built it in his Harvard dorm room.
Yeah,
Right?
And it was one of those. It was like Harvard or Princeton, and he built it for just the school.
Right.
And then it got people got noticed, so he's like, all right, well, we'll do it for all colleges. And then
Right.
all these kids in high school, and then all these people who graduated were like, well, we want to stick with it.
Yeah.
So we opened up, and now it's a cleaner MySpace.
It's cleaner. Yeah, and there's more going on. Like
Can you put
there's-
videos up too? And
yeah.
Yeah, I know you can put
You can't
pictures
do
up.
it like you link to a channel, I think, with the videos,
Okay.
and then you can go and watch them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm still learning it, but it's amazing. I clicked on a couple people's profiles, and they would have like 300 or 400 pictures. As MySpace, somebody might have 20 pictures,
Right.
Right?
I don't know.
People would have like their entire life on there. They're rating movies.
Wow.
They're expressing their personalities through it. It's kind of cool. I like it.
I should have been a computer programmer. This guy is making $5 billion.
Well, you got to have a good idea, and then you have to be able to
Yeah.
execute it.
But really, it's not a unique idea because he just kind of modified the already existing, personal pages out there.
Well, I think it started. I mean, it's called Facebook, isn't it? Based on like those old Facebooks, right? That you would
yeah, like
Is
on a
it?
college campus.
college campus.
Yeah,
it was
you-
just
they
he
used to
took
have
that and said, let's put it
directories.
online.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
So
an
that's
idea
what-
that's been around for 200 years.
I
or
did have it for a
150
while,
years.
and what was cool about it is I would plug in when I was at school. I'd plug in my classes, and when I'd click on the link to my class, it would give me everyone who was in that class.
That's cool.
So you could get notes from you'd get to a big like stadium style.
yeah,
class,
that was
you
probably
could
what it
get
was originally
notes.
developed for, right?
And so that's where it
yeah.
started, and then just kept on building. And then he was like, hey, what if I put some advertisements on it?
Yeah.
And everyone
Smart.
went to look at how much it's worth. It's like, yeah, if you put a couple advertisements on this thing,
It's gonna
you're
blow
never
up.
going to have to work again.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
look for women on Facebook, Joe?
Do I?
Yeah,
No,
I mean, you go through a
I
search.
literally signed up for it yesterday. So.
Really? Hmm.
But I put my status as single,
Ooh.
and I put my interests as women.
No way.
Yeah.
Nice
So-
touch. Very
That's
nice.
where I went wrong. I put my interests as kayaking
Oh,
and
no.
mountain biking.
No,
Nice.
that's not going to work.
Right, and married to a kayak.
And I said I was married. I'm an idiot.
I think for one of my interests on my MySpace page, I put trains.
Wow,
Wow.
how come you're not getting laid right
Yeah.
now
No.
by 70 hot betties?
Drains.
Well,
Train
Come on, I mean, who doesn't like a train? It's big.
attractive women.
or people in Chicago who are riding the
Oh.
Amtrak rail that
Wow.
where it goes sideways. So there was a little accident.
At
This week.
least, pretty much everyone walked away though.
I think well, except for the people they
With
carried off.
newfound love of
I
trains.
always think it's better. Like if you crash in a plane, you're probably gonna die. But if you crash on a train,
No.
you usually walk away from it.
No.
If
Actually.
you crash on foot, you definitely walk away from
Yeah.
it.
Either way, I just love Mike's conceit that he put trains as one of his interests. That's so great.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Well, that at a growing vegetable garden.
What's your interest? Tracked transportation is my interest. I enjoy tracked, outdated transportation.
That's right, yeah.
Well, it means that he's committed. He's goal oriented. He picks something and he goes straight to it. He
if
doesn't
there-
get derailed.
and there
he
are
doesn't
no
get
options.
sidetracked.
You're just going
Yeah.
in one. So if you're with Mike, you're just going in one direction,
One direction.
at all times.
And a
Trains.
slow pace.
and that
And that direction
at a very
usually
slow pace.
it usually follows the coast.
Hey,
and sometimes you have to stop
Guess
because
what?
another train might be.
guess
coming.
what? Guess what? It's still the number one means of freight transport across the country. So
Oh,
I'm the reason this country is still going.
If it were up
No,
to,
you
if it-
respect the reason this country's
Yeah.
still going. You are not a train.
Without
Right.
me,
Mike,
you're
don't
all
try to
nothing.
be Mike. You're not a train.
Yeah.
Don't be a train. Okay,
You are a human being.
you are a man.
Mm,
Every once in
you
a
are
while,
human being.
Mike thinks he's a train.
I'm a train at heart.
Every once in a while, Mike thinks he's a train.
I just keep on chugging, even after hurting my foot. I
I've
just
al-
keep on,
Oh,
I'm gonna do a show tonight with a sore foot.
we know.
Mike kept a rolling all night long. Mike.
Loaded like a freight train.
And I think that song, Locomotion. You know,
Loco
it's about
Michael.
me.
Going off the rails on a crazy train.
Riding that mic, high on cocaine.
It was funny though when I watched the Ozzy Osbourne video, like Crazy Train. They filmed it on this like old abandoned spur, and I actually like.
The fuck is that?
Well, it's just like
It's like a side lane.
But that's the thing.
okay.
See, I tend to notice these things in like music videos because they usually use like shitty trains, like that don't look real because
Those
they're old.
assholes.
Like I look at the rails and I say like, it's kind of they're really really rusty. Probably not even in use anymore. It'd be better if you filmed it on a main line.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's really a
more
core
exciting.
audience of metalhead train fanatics
train buffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
who are just sitting there, like don't talk to them like they're kids. Don't
Right.
give them the real stuff. They want to see real trains.
Dear
going
Ozzy,
off the rails.
Dear Ozzy,
In
you
episode-
clearly were not on the Pacific Union rail,
which
Like,
is the only crazy train I know. of.
exactly
It's actually the Union Pacific.
that one
Oh.
too.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's where Ozzy went wrong. Stupid Ozzy. Yeah, people like train buffs, huge metalheads.
They
demand-
movies should consult with me though because like in 24 in one of the seasons they started off with a train. You remember that one?
I think so.
Okay, well anyway they started with a train, but the train looked like a 50s train.
Oh,
It was supposed to be a commuter train, but it didn't
about-
look anything like a commuter
That
train.
was clear-
How about Back to the Future 3?
Yeah, those DeLoreans, they fly.
Yeah.
What the hell? And
Right,
that
no.
DeLorean train,
Well, they had
they
that-
should have talked to you and made a movie
Yeah.
about cars that go
I agree.
slow and don't go
Yeah.
back in time.
You know what I want to see? I want to see Mike like putting together little model trains and trees and everything with like Ministry playing in the background or whatever. Like
Ministry.
that is a psychotic person. Like
Yeah.
imagine that. Like you're watching a movie, you hear like hardcore like thrash metal. You go down and a guy is painting a park bench.
That's the next Silence of the Lambs sequel.
That is.
is.
That now that's psycho. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
That's
town.
crazy train.
Yeah, I would watch that. I would definitely watch that. Cool. All right. Well, we have.
Did you write a column?
I did write a column.
What? No, you
I did write a
didn't.
column. Listeners, you may notice we're trying to open things up.
Yeah.
And
Well,
we
we
want
just-
the column's an important part of it.
Yeah.
But
we just haven't seen Sean in a while, so we got to
Yeah,
get
I got
started.
excited.
Hey, you know what?
Excited.
Since we're just, why don't we just skip to the end of the column?
Okay.
since-
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you,
Oh,
literally,
figure
I'll-
since
great
we-
idea.
literally,
Great idea.
here's the last line of the
Okay.
column. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
May they be raped by swans.
What?
That is the last.
That is
line.
awesome.
Okay.
I-
Yeah.
May they be
Let's
raped
go
by
off on
swans.
that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a tattoo on me.
See, no, but I earned this raped by swans.
Oh,
If
you earned
have to
it?
read in the column. You have
Yeah,
to-
I guess if you were, I mean, it would be really bad getting raped, but if you had to get raped, swans wouldn't be the worst way to do it.
Right. If there was an animal you wanted to get raped by,
It would be
Well, they-
swan.
in this order, I think it would be sparrow number one because that would be cute. It would be a very
Yeah.
cute and it wouldn't
Painless.
hurt, painless rape.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be too bad.
How about gerbil?
Mm.
No,
they
people
have
always end up in the
claws.
hospital.
They
Yeah,
carry
Rats.
they carry hantavirus too. You
Oh.
got to
There
be
you
careful
go.
of that.
there you go.
Snake?
Nah, snakes, they can like squeeze
No.
really tight.
Yeah,
That's
no,
scary.
snake.
And
No.
they've like venom.
Like a dolphin.
Yeah.
You know, like a
yeah.
dolphin would be great.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
good.
there's nice animals, sweet
They're
animals.
very
Yeah.
sweet. They have good personalities. They're smiling.
Uh-huh.
You know, you wouldn't feel too bad about it.
What's like I hear panda bears are vicious, but they look so cute.
They do look cute, but you're right. They are
They're nice and
bears.
fluffy.
They're
Nice and
vicious.
fluffy too.
Yeah, you want
Yeah.
something with like a really good. I think Carlos's cat Duncan
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, cat.
I think that would be nice.
You've gone too far, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I will throw this chair right at your head. All
right.
You know what I think about rape? I think the word is too nice for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It's too. It's kind of not that it's a nice word,
You know,
but it's easy
it's-
on the ears.
It's like grape. You know, it's like that's a nice word. You know, it's too
Oh,
close
yeah.
to that.
I'd like some rape Kool-Aid.
You know,
Just say
yeah,
rape
it's,
Kool-Aid.
you can do. Somebody got raped on the one street over from me. There was a
Ooh.
rape, and today my mom was telling me about it. She's like, "Yeah, you know, I don't go out walking anymore at night. I heard there was this rape."
Yeah.
And I just kind of like, all right, you know, I watch the news, so I hear rape all the time, right?
Right.
And I kind of like brushed it off, and then I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, that's like, to me, when I hear like a break-in, like I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
wow. But then you hear rape, you're like, oh yeah, that's terrible, that's bad.
Yeah.
I think they need to pick a harsher word that kind of
Well, they could use
makes you
break-in.
cringe. Like the thought of an actual
Yeah.
rape makes you
They
cringe.
still would use break-in for rape, probably. You know.
I knew you'd go there.
It is, it is a form of break-in,
Yeah.
I guess.
I kind of feel like I hit that volleyball up and like
Right.
set you with that.
Bro.
So
So
as
Carlos-
I said break-in, I was like,
right.
Carlos is gonna come in and make
Right.
the.
It's not rape, it's sexual break-in.
I think if you
Right.
Yes,
call
he's
it
sexual
There you go.
break-in.
Sexual break-in.
Put sex in it, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Right.
oh,
Actual break-in.
you
Right.
know,
Or
Really.
anal break-in.
or no,
Anal
if
break-in.
you-
See, I would not want to be anally
Yeah,
Anal
braked
break-in.
in.
you could call it an unlawful sexual bludgeoning.
Entry.
That's
bludgeoning. See, bludgeoning
There you
sounds
go.
worse than rape,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
think I'd rather be no. I guess
about
I'd rather be
gaped?
raped than bludgeoned.
right.
What's that?
Would it be gaped?
That sounds even closer to
Gaped?
grape.
Yeah, gaped actually sounds nice. Like I would drink some kind of Snapple that was called gaped Snapple.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like gaping pomegranate snap.
Gaping pomegranates.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'd
As
drink
opposed to,
that.
but what about sexual break-in Snapple?
No.
No, see, I don't want
You're a
that Snapple.
pervert.
That does kind of sound like the Lost Al Green album.
Sexual. No, that's when Al Green hooked up with Barry White to do sexual
We're
break-in.
gonna get some sexual
Break-in.
break-in Snapple.
What do you think about that, baby?
That's if Al Green had a Ben and Jerry's flavor,
Right.
it would be
That
like
would be-
sexual break-in.
Sexual break-in.
I think it would be. Yeah. No, yeah. It would be.
Not sexual healing. It would actually be the reverse.
Yeah, it would be like sexual smooth.
So
Or
yeah, it would
yeah.
be-
Anticipation.
Oh.
Something like that.
Anticipation.
Yeah. That's when you anticipate rape. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know where I was going with
I don't
that.
know. And you creep, and you say I creep people out.
No. Yeah. Well, you do.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I second that.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up.
No, it's mainly your eyebrows, Carlos. I don't know if you guys have seen Carlos before, but
You know, you have a thing against eyebrows.
Yours,
You're talking
your
about my
eyebrows.
eyebrows and then Mike's eyebrows.
because when you look at people, it's like you look at them.
But you
like
don't have-
you look at them.
you don't have eyebrows.
No, I barely have eyebrows.
Yeah, you should pencil them
I
in.
probably should pencil them in. I'm like a 40-year-old, 50-year-old woman with my eyebrows. So which sucks because I have no hair. So it'd be really great to have some kind of coverage up
Something
there.
up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would.
it's a
I would
shame.
enjoy that a lot. So
Protect
I,
you.
I am basically cold always from the nose up.
Yes.
Or maybe not. I would say even from like the chin, like the base of the
lip.
nose up. I am always cold.
We gotta put our pictures up in the. Do we have any like
We
a
have one
website?
picture
We
up
gotta
on the,
put
on the
a-
iTunes. We have one
thing.
picture up.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
need
we
to
need
do a
to-
better job.
yeah.
We'll get a new
So
photo.
people
Yeah,
can make
that'll
fun
be
of
for the
us.
new year.
Yeah, we'll get a
Ooh.
new one.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll get a new one. So anyway, cool guys. Well, I'll get started on the column. We'll get as far as we can. And
Yep.
this is the latest we've ever started the column in a podcast.
Yeah, it's true.
So as always, gentlemen, feel free to jump in. The title of this week's column is called "Everything You Know Is Wrong," Part 1.
Wow,
Wow.
that's a two-parter.
Yeah.
That's a
Awesome.
two-
Well-
that's bold, man.
Well, maybe we're
dramatic.
wrong about assuming it's a two-parter.
Exactly.
is.
See, if everything you know is wrong, you just and actually you did assume wrong because the next line is, "This is the first in a continuing series." So Mike just proved my headline
Wow,
to be true.
that's cool.
Mike is very good. Mike always is one step ahead of things. Like
almost-
he
Yeah.
anticipates.
Kinda like a train.
It's almost like you're writing for him in a way.
Sometimes I think, I think my ideal audience is some kind of mix of Mike and my brother Tom
Yeah.
and my brother Dan and our friend Holly. Like those are the sensibilities that I like to appeal to.
Right.
It's like if I can hit those kind of notes, then I think I'm getting everybody.
Not me or Sean.
No.
No. I mean, well, first of all, Carlos, you're kind of dead inside, and the only thing that makes
Yeah.
you laugh, like we watched some like YouTube video last night, and there was like
I didn't.
like, that made, like,
first of all.
we watched something last night called "Shake That Bear."
No.
Have you heard of this?
It's the
No.
weirdest thing
It's
I've
the
ever seen.
crazy. It wasn't on YouTube. It was online, and basically it was this guy and this girl who shot a bear. They made a porno out of it. Shot a bear out of a tree and then made love on top of it. It like while it just died. and it was the most stunning thing I've ever seen.
Oh, a real
Okay.
live bear.
a real live bear.
Okay,
Yeah.
everybody. I did not laugh while watching this.
The look of glee on Carlos's face. It was like
Oh,
Christmas time in the morning. It was like
No.
the Yule and the whole
I was
celebration.
shocked. I was shocked.
No, you were shocked.
Yeah.
We were all shocked. It was the worst thing.
I just my mouth was open.
Yeah, the reason it's called Shake That Bear is because the guy during it is going, shake that bear, shake that bear.
It's,
It's
and then
horrible.
and then after they have sex,
Yeah.
they put like they had these dogs just go
And
hound dogs.
Yeah, they released like 10 hound dogs to tear the bear apart after they finished on top of it. It was terrible. It was the worst thing I've seen since
the
two
Holocaust.
girls,
It was like
two girls, one cup.
It was like a month ago.
It's like
No,
a
no, not-
3-part hedonistic.
It really was.
Just-
It had 3 beats. They shot a bear out of a tree, which was horrible to see. The bear falls like 70 feet.
and it wasn't a big bear either, too.
No, it wasn't a huge bear. Then they do their, and it's, it's nasty. And then they let the dogs tear it apart. And apparently everyone's been talking about this video.
It's like it was like almost like a Road Warrior, like a apocalypse kind of thing.
yeah, it was
really
crazy.
weird.
Yeah, it was like that would be another creepy thing.
Yeah, it's like
anyway.
a snuff film.
Yeah,
or
it was a
something.
bear snuff film.
Yeah, yeah.
There's been a lot of bears. Bears are very popular lately. Stephen Colbert had a big thing to do with this. I don't know if you guys watch that
Stephen
show.
Colbert?
Stephen Colbert.
Oh.
But he everything is bears with him, like fearing bears.
Yeah.
He calls Bill O'Reilly Papa Bear. He kind of brought bears to the forefront,
Right.
the way like Conan brought Chuck Norris to the forefront a
Right.
couple years ago. So
Was it the refrigerator Perry?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Or
There's a-
Mr. T with Conan, those kind of
Yeah.
things. So okay. Anyway, here we go. All right. My column.
The end.
The end. May they all be raped by swans.
Whoa.
Thank you. Okay. I have this theory. When the government, media, experts, parents, and the rest of the establishment agree on something that is not immediately provable, they are usually wrong. I'll give you 3 examples. Number 1, it is unwise to anger Zeus. Wrong. It is not unwise to anger Zeus because there is no Zeus. The ancient Greeks, the folks who popularized democracy and invented Olympic synchronized swimming, were a wise people who nonetheless worshipped non-existent deities. Now we know better. If a swan rapes you, that swan isn't Zeus in swan form. Do you guys know that story? Zeus.
Oh, yeah.
Zeus
Yeah.
took the form of a swan and he made love to a woman and like basically took her virtue while in swan form. It was a
Who
very,
was this woman?
I don't know. It was,
I think it was Goldie
Leda.
Hawn.
Yeah, no, it was Leda. I think Leda.
Why not just take the form of a man?
Because I think she was married.
So that makes it right.
It's like
No, it doesn't make it right.
Yeah, I think wasn't she married to? She was married to another god.
I think she was married to another god, or she was at least a very important person in the
yeah.
Greek god world. So,
it's like Howard the Duck or something.
so he used the swan form to get close to her and to
It's a weird story.
It's
Well,
a
I
very
wouldn't have
weird
listened.
story.
I wouldn't have listened to anything Zeus said anyway, because he had a headache once, and he asked someone to chop his head open to relieve the pressure.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Really?
Yeah, that's
And then someone popped out of his head. I forgot who it was. It was some other Greek god.
Athena?
Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah, what-
You would want to chop your head off if you had him in your head.
I'm trying to think. What would be the worst if you chopped your head open? What's the last person you'd want to jump out of your head? The-
You wouldn't want the duck that does Affleck.
Does
to come out.
Affleck.
yeah, go back.
That'd be pretty bad. That'd be pretty bad to jump out of your head.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want like John Wayne Gacy or something like
No.
that jumping out of my head. Like, what was he doing in there?
I think it would just be bad, like if you had a gypsy pop out of your head or something.
That would be
that's
horrible
awful.
too.
Yeah.
I don't
Awful.
think anybody would want
Yeah.
that either.
No.
Yeah, the
That's-
gypsy.
they creep me out.
Yep. There you go. All right. So anyway, if a swan rapes you, that swan isn't Zeus in swan form. It's really a swan with anger issues. For a list of dead gods, read H.L. Mencken's "Where is the Graveyard of Dead Gods?" H.L. Mencken was a journalist who was very popular in the early part of last century, and he actually made a list of all the gods who are dead, which is a very cool list. Because think of it, throughout history,
I like all the gods.
like Egypt with Ra,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
okay.
Nebuchadnezzar, like all the, I don't even know if that's a god, but all of the guys throughout history that were worshipped at one point, and that like now we have the real gods, you know. Now we've got the real ones. Like,
Yep.
we've got it figured out, but before then there was a whole.
Who's
lot.
the real god?
Oh, you know, depends on who you ask. Muhammad, Jesus,
okay.
you know,
The trifecta.
depends on where you were born.
Buddha.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay.
So anyway, and they may one day be dead gods, which is
Yeah.
kind of the point
Right.
of what he wrote. So it's really good. I provided a link to it on the website. Number 2 example, slavery. What a great idea, right? There's a time in this country when
Right.
slavery, and around the world, in every continent in the
Every
world,
continent.
where it was widely accepted that that was a passable idea.
Not Antarctica.
Probably not Antarctica.
No, they were always really progressive, I guess.
Yeah, they were cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
They were cool.
No point intended.
No, I didn't even need.
Snap.
Oh, there we go.
Zing.
I'm glad I got a pun in there. It is the highest form of comedy.
Yeah.
The pun.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The pun is the
I'm
ultimate.
gonna beat the crap out of you.
You probably should. If I make another pun, punch me in the arm.
I will.
Please. I did not even intend to do it. I sometimes pun,
Yes.
Yeah, it just happens. Okay. Throughout history, man has enslaved his fellow man and justified it by saying, number 1, all men are not created equal. Number 2, it's okay because we're converting them to our religion. Number 3, slavery is good for the economy. We now know these things aren't true, but there was a time, not just in this country, but all over the world, when taking away a man's freedom was considered not only allowable, but beneficial to the person doing the heavy lifting. So Pharaoh, Mike just died. You okay, Mike?
Wow.
You okay? So Pharaoh would have a nice place to crash when Ra, another dead god, punched his ticket. So, again, here's another thing that was widely accepted that was proved to be a bad idea.
Well, lard was widely accepted as a food that you could eat, and not smoking used to be widely accepted in film.
Sure. Absolutely.
Until they learn all the bad things
All the
from
bad
it.
things it does to you. Exactly.
You have to live and learn, I guess.
I want to see them bring something back though, that like something that we, like let's say something was perceived as good, then they called it bad,
Yeah.
and now we're like, it's actually good. I want to see that. I don't think
That was
that's
like
ever
eggs.
happened.
I think that was like eating eggs. It was,
Kinda-
it was like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Everyone always thought, did that ever happen to milk? Milk was a universally good thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. Kind of the point of my column kind of brings up something like that that's close. It's not exactly that, but it's close.
Wars,
let's skip
wars
ahead.
like that.
All right, let's skip ahead.
Hey, I got one.
Uh-oh.
Video games, when they first came out, they said they were bad for kids.
I think they still think
And
they're
They
bad.
but Mike, you bring up an excellent point. They still think they're bad, but there's proof that they're good.
Right.
But what I'm
That's
talking about is
true,
like when the idea is widely accepted, when everybody
Yeah,
that is like in the
I guess
establishment can
that's
agree.
kind
And
of
I
a
want to see something
small
that's
network.
widely accepted as good,
Yeah.
like slavery, and then becomes bad,
Bad.
then
and then
becomes
comes
good.
back and is like, no, we were wrong. It's actually good.
Like slavery.
not
not like slavery.
specifically,
Not specific
not
slavery.
explicitly slavery, but maybe something
Well,
like
we use animals for certain things. That's like, like research and
Right,
or
which
horses,
we can't do that anymore.
yeah.
Or
Right.
yeah.
It's considered cruel. So yeah,
Right.
there's definitely things like that. Yeah, it'd be great to think of an example like that. The what I actually wrote about in the column this week, and I'll jump ahead a little bit, is basically the idea that you're not supposed to be out in the sun like ever. Here, I'll read I'll read what the government says. If you're out in the sun, this is literally from the Health and Human Services website. It says, it's always wise to choose more than one way to cover up when you're in the sun. Now listen to this. Use sunscreen and put on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Seek shade
Okay.
and grab your sunglasses.
Okay.
Wear a hat,
Okay.
but rub on sunscreen too.
All right.
Combining these sun protective actions helps you protect your skin from damaging UV rays.
Oh wow.
They're
That's-
basically saying don't expose any part of your body
Yeah.
to the sun when you're in
just
the
stay
sun.
inside.
Right. And the point of my column, so if you guys want to go out and read the whole thing online, is that there's a growing body of research that says the human body needs a little bit of sun every day, and if you're doing all those things, you're making yourself sicker.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, it's not, you don't want to be out there all day, but you
No,
know,
no,
get
look,
yourself like 20 minutes.
They
It's good.
said 10 to 15 minutes on your arms and legs with no Mike could use some sun right now.
You could use
Sorry, I have
some-
a tickle in my throat.
Yeah, 10 to 15 minutes, and not to get all health column here, but and it'll do you wonders. It'll increase your vitamin D and all that good stuff. And
I think I'm from the school of moderation. I think anything, everything's bad if you
Yeah.
overdo it. But most things are good, or at least not bad in moderation. You can probably do anything a couple times a year
yeah,
and be totally solid.
Yeah, like eat at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Yeah,
Or
you-
Pink's Hot Dogs.
You could do that a couple times a year and you're
Right.
solid, but you do that every day
you're gonna be sick.
and you're going to be
Exactly.
chubby.
Yeah. Did you guys see the documentary with the guy at McDonald's every day for
Yes.
a month?
That was
I
fun.
didn't do it. I didn't want to see that documentary because I assume that stuff's bad, right? Like,
Right.
okay, that's bad food.
Right.
But every
I know
day.
that, but every once in a while, like I'm in a situation where I have to eat it. It's
Right.
late at night. There's something I got to do. I don't want to think that while I'm eating it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, so I'm under the assumption, yes, this is probably bad. I bet this isn't all chicken in my chicken
Right.
nuggets.
Right.
But I'm gonna go for the ignorance is bliss sort of.
I didn't even watch it. I thought it'd be too hard to watch.
It was I don't agree with the premise of it at all. I watched it. I didn't agree with the premise. Who would do that every day?
know.
Nobody. But it was great entertainment. This
It
guy
was
went from
funny.
being a perfectly healthy, normal human being to being just a shell of a man. By the end, all he was eating was like the McSalad shakers and whatever. He was trying to be healthy about it, and he was losing his energy. His doctor told him I think his kidneys were failing.
Oh,
like they told him he had to stop, and he kept going.
Jeez.
He's like, he
It's
was
a long way to
was-
go to
He
prove a
was
point.
repulsive, yeah. And
Did he? And he didn't die or anything.
He didn't die. No,
No, I think he, healthy,
he has a
healthied
TV
himself
show
up
now.
after that.
Yeah, but it was
it
fascinating.
was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's all about balance.
You didn't see it.
No, I mean it was an interesting concept. I meant to say it's an interesting concept. I thought it was. If I did see it, it would be fascinating. I just can't watch it.
Mike, you don't have to be a train, and you don't have to
Wow.
lie to make.
That's
make
he's making sense.
He is making sense.
You know what book was wonderful?
Huh.
War and Peace.
Real? Oh,
I assume I didn't read it. I didn't,
you
read,
didn't read it?
But I'm assuming had I read that book, I would have found it insightful.
Uh-huh.
I would have found it to be maybe one of the greatest literature,
Oh.
one of the greatest pieces of literature of our time. Had I read that book,
One of the most important things a man can do is go through boot camp. And
Did you go
What?
through?
No,
boot
I
camp?
didn't.
Oh.
But if I had,
Uh-huh.
I can tell you, I would have enjoyed like a discipline I never would have had before, a physical regimen. Just I
Yeah.
think I'd feel a lot better about
Definitely.
myself. So I can appreciate that.
Sex with Scarlett Johansson is amazing.
Really?
It's wonderful.
So how was that?
Oh, I didn't do it.
Oh.
But if I had done it, I'm
Yeah.
sure it would have just been like magnificent.
awesome.
Yeah, it would have been wonderful.
Yeah.
I would have totally
Look
pleased her.
at look at Mike. He's putting his hands on.
The most when you die,
Uh-huh.
you can actually see yourself from above
What?
the
No.
operating table.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you?
Wait, when did you die?
No,
How
I
do you
never
know
died.
this?
I never died, but
Oh.
I read about it in Death Illustrated magazine.
Death
Oh,
Illustrated.
yeah, Illustrated.
And it was a fascinating article, and I felt like I was there, and I can appreciate.
I hear
the whole-
Charles Schultz draws for that now.
Does he?
Oh.
The perfect button. Thank you, Sean. Awesome, very nice, guys.
I didn't say anything, Mike.
Yeah, we're just
I was being nice.
we're getting warmed up for our improv show.
I could-
today.
I could-
That was a cacophony.
I could
It was.
have, I could have brought in sexual break-in and all that stuff, but
Right,
no,
right.
I kept my mouth shut.
No, exactly.
I said they were making a point, and I'm gonna and I'm gonna let it go.
Your silence was all the yes we needed.
yes,
we
it should have been like, "Yup, yep,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anytime you were on a roll, just be like, yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah." Just sound better that,
Especially if
Yeah.
Mike has his head in his hands,
You know?
like he did during that entire bit.
He looked like he was gonna cry.
I know. I think Mike.
He's hurt.
He had this look on his
no,
face, like what just happened.
He's rubbing his chest.
You look like you got hit by the aforementioned train that you said you were. Is what it looked like.
I'm a little hungover tonight.
Excuses.
Well, it is 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
That's
So-
true.
No, I mean, from last night, I had a few too many, and
You're trying to numb the pain.
yeah.
No. The impending
So I'm
impending
actually,
podcast.
Just so y'all know, I'm not actually drinking my usual vodka on the rocks.
That's
during
true.
this.
Oh, wow.
That's true. That's a good point.
I went and
Okay,
bought a lot-
guys, you can tune out now.
All right.
Yeah, this has
The
been.
mystery has been solved.
People are gonna be like, that was an unusually lucid podcast
Yeah.
for some. And Carlos is just drinking a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, usually you have a whiskey and vodka.
Vodka
in
by
front
now.
of you.
In front of
Carlos
her.
usually has a whiskey and vodka. Mike usually has a gin and vodka.
And I'm shooting heroin.
She's usually
Oh.
mainlining heroin and Budweiser.
Because usually I'm just drinking,
Yep.
just drinking
That's
water.
why he was
so-
gone for last
Right.
week. Oh,
And I'm
Yeah.
usually autoerotically asphyxiating myself during the show.
Yep.
So that's why you all
Shake the
cut
Joe.
off.
Shake the
Shake
Joe.
Oh man, I gotta go and buy that website right now.
Oh, I know.
That if we were smart, we'd film the parody of that right now. We'd go out and film that right now, and we'd shoot something out of a tree.
I'm not going up that tree, dude. Whatever I don't care.
Dude, you don't want to
Say.
go up the tree.
Too
I'd rather be
late.
the guy shot down than the guy that Joe has sex with on top of.
I'm gonna shake something. 2 million hits on YouTube in 2 days. I
Wow.
guarantee it. I
What
guarantee
what would you do as a parody? Like, would you shoot it down and then like maybe have a picnic on top of it or something?
I don't know if you get like a stuffed teddy bear or
You would cuddle with it, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to make it more horrible, I guess.
Maybe you would argue with your wife. Or,
Yeah, maybe it's a man and his wife, and they're trying to recapture the fire.
No,
in
I
their
want to see.
relationship.
I want to see two bears maul a guy and then have sex on over his
That's great. Shake the man.
body. Shake the man.
Shake the man. would be
Bear's
great.
revenge.
Two bears in bear suits shoot a
Yeah.
man out of a tree.
But that was in the
Shake
Grizzly.
the man.
They already did that in the documentary. I think Grizzly Man.
Grizzly man.
Yeah, so same
They
idea.
killed,
They killed that guy.
They
I
killed
think.
that
I
guy.
want, I'm gonna see a bear with the rifle
Another
Oh.
shooting him.
Yeah.
That's another fascinating documentary I haven't seen yet.
How was it?
Yeah.
was it?
Was it excellent?
I'm sure it was tantalizing.
Oh.
No.
Awesome. Very nice, guys. All right, well, I think it's about that time.
Yeah.
If we had sound effects this week, which we don't.
Yeah.
We forgot to bring the
Someone's hungover.
iPod.
It's my fault. I should have grabbed
We
it.
forgot.
Yeah.
So
I
here,
should've-
do.
All right, guys. It's time for what do we call the final segment again?
Aftermath.
We forgot our whiteboard.
Forgot?
Aftermath. That's right.
I'm being shot.
Oh,
Yay!
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do it. Do
Shake
it.
that, Carlos.
Hey.
Shake that, Carlos.
You wish.
All right, Mike. Can I get your aftermath? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, sure. I like how everybody laughs just before I even open my mouth.
Well, because the general feeling at this point is always, sweet God, here it comes.
Everybody, hold on.
Had to clear my throat for that. Anyway, now my aftermath thought. You talked a little bit about, Zeus, turning into a swan, and and I just think that kind of shows that religion is kind of a strange thing because, it is kind of funny that at one point, the people that created democracy, they actually believed in all these gods and goddesses, but now all that remains are just the stone statues, and it just kind of goes to show like we don't know anything. And I think if you're going to have a religion, okay?
Yeah.
I think if you're going to have a religion, you should make it a religion based on something practical. You should worship trains because they are the commerce of this country. You might as well just worship the great iron horse.
What would be the Satan of that of a train? Like what would, if a train is
Another
Jesus,
train, probably. Yeah.
No, what would be the Satan?
The trucks.
Trucks or Satan?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, very interesting.
Wow.
And in the Adam and Eve allegory, what instead of biting into an apple, the train
Went into a tunnel
went into a tunnel.
Oh. It's kind
with
of
no other end.
It's gonna be a very very lonely religion, Mike. It's gonna be very lonely
yeah.
religious service.
I mean, worship something practical.
All right, I'll buy it. I personally would worship like awesome animals like eagles and snakes and like that's kind of religion.
Crocodile.
Well, yeah, you can do that
Crocodiles.
too,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right, Carlos.
Oh, okay. Well,
Would you like to start a religion?
would I start a religion?
No, you don't
No.
have to.
Okay, thank God. I don't know. I do. When I saw that video last night, I was very disturbed. Quite the contrary to other people might think. But yes, I was very disturbed.
I'm amazed at that because you watch Traces of Death,
well,
which is worse than Faces of Death.
Well, when you link the two together, sex and violence, that's not,
You like those parts separate.
Yes.
You like your sex over here
It's
and your
like-
violence over here.
It's like, when they're eating Thanksgiving meal, you don't want to put the sweet stuff near.
don't-
what
you don't mix the
salt
pumpkin
is.
pie with the
yeah,
turkey.
Yeah, you keep it
Alright.
separate.
Fair
So
enough, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it was just wrong. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
And good article, Joe.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
We read 3 paragraphs.
Oh, okay.
So thank you.
Well, I'll read it later.
That's the point. So, all right, Mr. Sean.
Just want to say that you can tip your waitress.
Whoa.
You
boy.
can tip your mailman.
Oh, yeah.
But if you
Uh-huh.
tip a federal judge or a
Whoa,
police officer,
No.
that's 15 to 25.
That's not good.
Hard.
Lot
time.
of sexual breaking in that one, I can imagine.
No,
Maybe
actually none. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
I was
I'm
talking
just
about
saying in
bribing
jail-
a federal
I'm
judge.
just saying
right?
in jail.
In
jail.
jail.
Not a sexual
In
break.
jail. In jail, I think you get flackered, yes.
Flacker.
Much
That's what I'm
better
saying
word.
instead of rape. Flackered.
Much better word.
I was flackered to death. They flackered her and killed her.
Oh.
That would be on Law and Order SVU.
Yeah. Funk diddled. You know?
No, not
No,
diddle.
not funk diddle.
No, not diddle.
Diddle is nice. Yeah,
Funk
you're right.
diddle sounds like
It
a
sounds nice.
pretzel wrapped in chocolate.
You want to try a funk diddle?
Damn straight.
I was trying
I'd
to do it.
flacker that girl to get in front of her.
Oh!
Flacker's better. You're right. Once again, Sean Kearney, you have topped me.
Wow.
All right. Well, that's all for the second column this week. If you want to read the entire column, go to joedonatelli.com.
I'd like to say something.
Sure, Mike.
Yeah.
I would just like to say to all of our listeners, keep on training through the holidays.
Keep on trucking.
We're almost there. We're almost to
keep on
Christmas.
trucking.
We're almost to New Year, and then it'll be spring.
And walk with a partner on your way home because you don't want to get flackered.
Oh.
I'm leaving people with the
Scary.
the hermeneutic of spring.
Very nice. If you're walking to get a flunk diddle with your with somebody,
With
It'll keep you from getting
old
flackered.
lass. Don't get flackered.
don't get flackered. All right, that's it. We'll see you next week. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's all for this episode of The Second Column. For more information, go to joedonatelli.com.